Hello and welcome to Tech Week in View, where each week we take the biggest stories from the tech world, chew them up, spit them out and tell you what we think. Stay tuned. So at the moment you're currently seeing me through bars, but imagine if I said to you that if you paid me £2.50 I'd take away those bars. It's pretty much what the internet is going to become in the next couple of months, certainly if Rupert Murdoch from News International has his way. Why? Well, because he's erecting a paywall. Now, there's nothing really new about that. He's been talking about it for a while, and already the Wall Street Journal, a News International publication, charges people to access content. What's interesting is this week he sort of stepped it up a notch by saying that he was going to disallow Google to search any of the News International sites. That's like the Times or the Sun, for example. The ideology behind it is that Murdoch believes that if he, can keep an inner circle of people that will charge, he'll charge, therefore will pay for the content, he can charge advertisers a lot more because he knows who they are. They're more relevant readers to him that are likely to stay and look at more pages rather than just general Google traffic. What's interesting is that most people think he's mad for doing this because, well, why wouldn't you want Google to find your traffic? Because surely they'll bring in more people. And for most websites, that's the case. What they don't count on the fact, however, is that Murdoch has massive brands that pretty much have their own pulling power. If I say the Times to you, you know what I'm talking about, mainly because it's a paper that's been around for a couple of hundred years. Either way, whether you're the Independent or the New York Times or any other publication that happens to be around, everybody's sitting on the sidelines, possibly hoping this will work, but at the same time not willing to take the risk themselves. With Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 out, you have to ask yourself about violent video games. You always do, don't you? I mean, violent video games are the master of all evil, aren't they? I mean, they're responsible for lots of killings, well, they're not actually, but mainstream media will make you believe that they are. And they're just, corrupting our youth, because clearly our youth aren't able to watch television or movies at the cinema or read a book. I mean, if anybody's ever read American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, they'll know it's either seen as a gory slasher fest or sort of a look on our social and economical understanding of society. And you could probably say the same for video games as well. I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare might be about killing, might be about taking over an airport in a terrorist moment, which will make people that don't really understand it shout with fear and shine blue murder or something. But at the same time, it's all about teamwork. It's about what the Wonder Pets teach you. What's going to work? Teamwork. It's about working together. It's about using initiatives to take over a certain objective. And so from that point of view, and hey, let's face it, it has got an 18 rating. They won't sell it to under 18-year-olds. And if you're a parent that buys it for your under 18-year-olds, then, well, you're just stupid. But I think, adult video games, when they're clearly defined and entertained and marketed toward adults, there's nothing wrong with that. It's only when they get too gory fest, but then I've never seen something in a video game that's as bad as anything I've seen in a movie. I mean, you've probably seen Saw series at some point. So, violent video games, good stuff. Having the job that I have allows me to see certain things that, just aren't ready yet. So, for example, this morning I was playing a video game that hopes to change the way that we play video games, but it's not due out for another 6 months. Earlier in the week, I saw an application for a mobile phone that allowed me to turn on my car 6,000 miles away. And then the week before that, I saw something that was equally interesting, where someone had managed to create the essence of a dead musician, bring him back to life and have him play the piano for me there and then. It's an interesting concept, created by Zenith Studios. They've basically done a Jurassic Park, extracted the DNA of how someone plays a musical instrument, how they play, whether they're tired, whether they're happy, whether they're whatever mood they're feeling to be, and actually get them to replay the music that they once played. It's not a remastering, they call it, a re-performance. Where this could take it one step further, however, is, you could bring back, obviously, dead musicians, that's the easy part, but you could then start having fantasy band moments. Do I really want Ringo to play in the Beatles, or would I prefer Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters to play bass instead? It's certainly going to be a major issue for copyright owners in the future. It'll certainly bring on a whole new interactive musical instrument scenario world for us to play with a bit more. Either way, what I have seen in my travels is the future is going to be impressive. I Twitter, you Twitter, pretty much everybody Twitters these days. What's your account? How many followers have you got? How many retweets do you get? Oh, you got a DM, lucky you. Well, it seems that maybe the bubble is finally about to burst. Yes, reports out this week suggest that there was an 8% dip in the US for the Twitter usage in October. Shock, horror, I know, that surely means the end of the end. But does it really mean that this is a social phenomenon that's changed the way companies market themselves, talk to you, embrace the interactiveness of social networking to a massive extent, all about to come to an end? I'm not sure. Perhaps we were all just busy in October, celebrating or getting ready for Halloween. Maybe we just didn't fancy saying that much in 140 characters. After all, there are only so many times you can tell someone what you had for breakfast. Slice of toast, jam, and a bit of honey. But either way, what is going to happen is that we will still continue to Twitter. We will still continue to get excited when our friend tells us that he happens to be somewhere else, sitting on the toilet, eating lunch, or maybe just twittering for the sake of twittering. Stay tuned. Well, that's it for this week's show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Why don't you tune in next time for more news, reviews, tips, tricks, opinions, and much more. I'm Stuart Miles, this is Megawatt TV. Thanks for watching.